Hello and welcome back to City Skylines, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have some changes to the city that I have made off camera. Yes, I know, very, very daring of me to make some changes off camera. Not something I was planning on doing with this series, but apparently I forgot to hit the record button and then proceeded to spend 15 minutes changing some things with the entrance to the city and planning out some new roads. So I'm going to walk you through those changes as opposed to doing them again, because I like where we are with them and I really don't want to do them again because they wouldn't be the way they are. So I do apologize. It was my mistake. It happens rarely, but it happens. Anyway, the changes. So what we have here is a nice new curved bit of highway that goes under that train bridge and comes over to an intersection. That's not the same intersection that was on this bit of highway. By the way, if you don't know where we are, there's the train intersection for reference. So we're sort of to the south of the city at the moment. Maybe we look at it this way and you get an idea. So the north of the city is to the top of the screen. So this curves over like this. It comes to this intersection. That all sort of follows around the train line and then goes back to being normal highway to exit the city. The reason I moved this intersection is because of this. This is a new set of roads that I built. This area sort of mirrors the diagonals that we have going here, which I think looks quite nice. This currently connects to the industrial zone. I am probably going to put an old town policy or a heavy traffic ban on this area. We'll see which. I am going to also go in and just downgrade some of these roads to have, I say some, I mean all of these roads to just have grass on them, because I feel that there's way too many trees going on here. And there will be even more trees going on once I go in and decorate a lot of the space. So that's a little bit better looking, I think. So the reason I built this is actually quite simple. Over here is Rushport, and Rushport, quite a few people actually got it right, is a play on the name Port Rush, which is a place here in Northern Ireland, which is famed for Barry's Amusements. If you've ever been to Port Rush, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then I don't know if I recommend it. It's pretty good. I went there a lot as a kid, but as you grow up and look at it, you kind of go, it's not that great, is it? But, you know, it's a bit of fun. Anyway, that's what it was based on. It was Port Rush. A lot of people got it right. Some people Googled it. Either way, well done on that. That was pretty cool to see. Anyway, let's go ahead and start zoning some residential in here. The reason that this is residential is because we need to get the commercial demand up so that we can finish Rushport. So we're going to do residential in there. I'm going to do offices the whole way along here. And this is a big bit of zoning that we're doing, but it's necessary. Because I want to fill up as much of this space as I can. And I also want to get some offices backing onto this train track so it's sort of hidden. Because I'm going to be honest, one of my favorite things about this city is this view. Just seeing the trains going through behind all these buildings, I love it so much. It's something I've always wanted to do with cities. I've never really done with cities, so I really, really love it. I'm also going to go ahead and put some commercial there, just because these areas will definitely need it. And then what we need to do is actually come in with some pedestrian paths and change up this space. And this is something we've done many, many times thus far. We block the zoning on the avenue, which allows zoning to extend a little bit better onto these roads here. Except for this bit, we do the avenue sort of corner there. Anyway, let's go ahead and just fill out all of this space like so with some pathways, blocking the zoning, letting the little sort of side roads do their thing. And I think that looks pretty good to me. I am quite happy with it. Gonna go ahead and do this and do that and delete you. Okay, then do that. Not that, sorry. Then we do that like so and like so. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've done something different there. I did something very different there. What did I do? What did I do? I'm actually very confused here. I feel it was that. Then that goes up to... Oh, I see what I did. Okay. So that goes there, that connects there, that goes like that. Is that correct? Yes, it is. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's just extend that and connect around and extend that. Like so. What way did I do that? Hold on a minute. I feel like I need to be very careful with what I'm doing here. I feel like that goes to there, that goes to there, and you connect to there. All right. So that looks pretty good to me. That's going to be a nice little way to get through there. Gonna go ahead and push a pathway through that space, just because we might as well. The zoning was a little bit strange. Also gonna push a pathway through that space. Again, just sort of because I can. And a pathway through there as well. So there we go. People can sort of walk from all of those spaces if they so desire. Gonna do some paths just there. And yeah, we'll see what we do with all of this. I'm not entirely certain of what the plan is for all of this spacing. Honestly thinking offices, I am quite a huge fan of the way offices look. So I think we'll just go for it. Do a whole bunch of offices. Another big office zone in the outskirts of the city could be nice. But then again, I mean, I'm not really interested in doing suburbs here. I'd maybe do them in this part, but I don't know. We do need to expand the suburbs at some point as well, which we will do. We'll expand them up onto the hill, I think. But what we'll do is just get offices in here. I think this will probably be the last big office zone that we have in the city, because we have a lot of them. We really, really have a lot of them. Do a little bit of commercial in there just to break things up a bit. Just like that. And I guess, hopefully that'll build. Hopefully that will build quite quickly as well. Commercial is maybe a little bit silly to throw in there just because we are waiting on a new commercial zone building up. But it would also be a bad idea to leave commercial out of here. Now, what we also need to do, obviously, is come in with some new districts for all of this. So we're going to do just that here and fill up all of this space. Then get it off of these. Oh, hold on a minute. Let's tidy that up a little bit. Then get it off of this main road here. And then it's going to have to extend over to about the train line. Just like that. And then I guess it's actually going to have to go right to... Is that the modern style? I think it is. I think we might be okay there. So this Franklin Heights needs to extend to about there. Alright, so that's fine. Those do what I want them to do. Then just get rid of the districts on that road and on that road. So what do we have? This is Umber Park. Not a bad name. We'll just extend it up to here as well. And then just, once again, tidy... Oh, hold on a minute. Then just tidy this whole thing up. I like neat districts. I really do. I think you've probably noticed by this point, but it's one of my favorite things to do in City Skylines. I know that probably sounds really sad to some people. It's like, hey, you've got this city builder that's basically a sandbox. Go and make a beautiful city. No, you know what? I'd rather make some neat districts. That might sound sad to some people, and that's okay. Not everyone likes the same things. It's kind of how the world works, and it's okay to not like things. But I don't know. There's just something really satisfying about making a really neat district. Maybe it is sad, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. I like it. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do that. We have Moor District. We have Umber Park. And they both need not the default style. They need vanilla, not quads. They need vanilla. And you need vanilla as well. As for policies, I'm honestly thinking heavy traffic ban. Or maybe heavy traffic ban on you. So that any industrial traffic uses these two roads. Let's give that a shot. Let's do a heavy traffic ban on you. Which will also stop industrial traffic using this road to get out. Which might be good and might be bad. We will see what happens there. Let's encourage biking, and in Umber Park I want some high-tech housing. Alright. So we should see this build up pretty quickly. There is a little bit of demand there. I do also think we probably want some parks. So let's see if we can get any in there. We can get this one. We can actually get it in there as well. Which might be nice. Because I do sort of want parks in these spaces here anyway. We could do the botanical garden if we wanted to, get a couple of those. Not really much else we can add. We have some large parks. I mean, this and this is always a good go-to. So I guess I'll do a couple of those there just to nicely decorate the area. Then if I go, like, let's see. What way is this going to connect? No, that doesn't really work. Does that work? That does! That's a weird path, but I like it. We'll do that, we'll do that. Then we'll get some trees in there. And we'll go make it look beautiful. There we go. So that little area can just have some trees about it. Just to make it look like one big park, which will boost the leisure and land value of the area, which is always super important. Now, we do need services in here. This is something I keep forgetting to do. I want to get some new services. So we're going to do a... I'm going to do a fire station right... There's maybe a tricky spot. Let's do a fire station at one of these side roads. Or this one, actually. This is probably fine. I'm going to do a fire station there. I would kind of like a big police station. I'm going to say at this corner. Well, maybe not the corner. I'll put it there. And we could get a hospital in here if we wanted. We could have got a hospital in there, actually. That would have been nice, but we could just... No, we can't get it there either. We can't get it there either. We could get a big hospital in there. But I think I'll pass on that as well. I'm just going to go for a medical clinic, I think. Just a little clinic on one of these roads. Say... there. Why not? That'll work. That'll give some medical coverage to that area. And at the moment, we don't actually have any demand for anything, which... That's kind of common in City Skylines. When you zone a lot of things, demand is going to hit rock bottom for a while. And it's something I do a lot, honestly. Basically, we have all of this space waiting to be filled up, all of this space waiting to be filled up, and all of this space. So as a little bit of demand comes along, these areas are slowly going to fill up. So let's wait a little bit for some demand to pop up. I've just realized that while we wait for those areas to build up, we can actually have some fun with some unique buildings. I haven't placed the London Eye, or the hypermarket, or the government offices, or this sports arena. I haven't placed any of this. I've placed the department store, but I haven't placed City Hall, which is something I think I really want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into Meadow Hills, because I feel like this is where City Hall should be. And I'm going to change Meadow Hills a little bit. So this area here is going to be completely dezoned. Because I do kind of feel like this is where City Hall would be. A lot of people there, a little bit annoyed. But that's alright. They can deal with it. Let's just bulldoze all of you. And just get you out of there. So that's fine. Now the real question is, will City Hall sit central? Yes, it will. That's not City Hall. Yes, it will. All right. So what we're going to do is come through here with another bit of road like that. And then City Hall is going to sit right there. So that's going to be City Hall right at the end. You know, opposite the department store, opposite the hospital. I think that's a nice place for it. I really do. I like that this area is sort of slowly developing into something pretty cool. Now, technically, City Hall probably would be central, but I kind of like it being up here. So that's kind of cool. I think that's good. We do need to decorate it, though. So let's do some pathways around it. And then connect those pathways to the ends and to there and there. Connect this through that space. And connect you to there as well. Then connect like that. No, that's not right. Can I connect to that? No. Or can I? No, that's not going to let me do that. Okay. That's fine. I can do that sort of connection, I suppose, which looks like it connects to City Hall. Which I like. So at this point, all we need to do is lightly decorate this, because I think this is going to look good if we leave it kind of the way we've left this area a bit bare. I think less is more in that particular situation. And yes, that sounds really artsy and arsey and silly, but I think it's kind of true in this situation that less is, in fact, more. So let's get some of the small oak tree. That's not a small oak tree at all. Some of the smaller and darker oak trees around here, I think could look kind of nice at those little bits. So something a bit like that. I like. Let's do some of the bigger ones just in these spots. That's not a bigger one at all. That'll do. And that'll do. And I feel like maybe just a couple there and there. And a nice big one there as well. Then the same at this end as well. The music's really intense for what we're doing. I love it. So we'll do that as well. Alright. I think that looks pretty good. I really do. It's simple, it's effective. I think the only change I'd make is putting some stuff along the back, because it's a little bit bare. So something a bit like that for the back of City Hall. Yeah, I like it. I really do. I like the simplicity. I honestly think it works. What other buildings do we have? We have the Gherkin, which is a bloody tall building, which I think is going to look really silly if we place it at the moment. We have a cinema, which I reckon I'm going to try and fit in here, because there's a couple of European buildings in there that really shouldn't be there. So cinema, which actually doesn't really fit. Oh, it does. That actually fits in a really interesting way. It fits kind of perfectly, actually. Unfortunately, I can't get two of them. That'd be cool, but sure. What else have we got? We have a casino, which is huge. We have some plazas. We have some buildings at the courthouse and the Grand Mall and the tax office. I think the cinema being there is actually kind of cool. It's on a pretty major road. It's right next to a metro station. So what I'll do is go and do a little pathway there. And we'll sort of connect those together a little bit, just to do something decorative, as I tend to do. And then trees. I'm also going to run the simulator. I need to remember not to pause the game when I'm doing this. The point of doing this was so that everything else could develop, not for me to just do this. So I need to not pause the game. Do some shrubs about there, like that. And there we go. Again, something nice and simple that I think totally works. I really like it. Nice little cinema just there. Alright. What else have we got? We have the tax office, which really should go in here somewhere. I'll not bother. We have the oppression office as well, which doesn't actually sit central, so I'm probably never going to place it. I want this somewhere, because this thing just looks cool. Like, it really does. This thing just looks kind of cool. And I'm almost feeling like it should just go at the end of this road, but it can't. It could go at the end of this one. That's kind of cool. Just not in the most ideal spot. What about... Oh, I don't know where this could go. I really don't. I like the idea. It needs to be at the end of a road. That's for sure, because you need to be able to just look up the road and see this giant archway. But I think, honestly, I'm just going to get rid of the business park for the time being. We have things like the Opera House as well. I feel like a lot of this should go in the leisure district. Like, the Opera House should definitely go in here. And it does sort of fit. Like, it kind of fits there. And I think it'd be kind of cool to have. Now, that slope's obviously way too steep. It can fit there, though. It's an interesting building, that's for sure. It also is slightly raised out of the ground. But no, I don't like it. I'm gonna reserve that for somewhere where I can actually decorate around it properly and create a dedicated space for the Opera House, which I guess I could do over here. I feel like that might be a good idea. So let's see what we can do. Let's go like that and that. Then a block and a block. Then another block that way and a block that way. Will the Opera House fit in between those? Yes, it will. And then what I can do is that. So that's the Opera House on its dedicated plot of land. Then from that, we're going to connect to there. And we're going to connect to there. And that might seem... That's simple as hell. It is. I like it, though. What I think I'll do then is... that kind of thing for a little bit more decoration. I can put some parks in there, I think. I can get a small playground. What size is this park? The park with trees. It won't really fit in there. The large playground I don't want. This I always do. I always want this park. It's always a nice park. And it looks like I could maybe fit 2 of them in there. So maybe I'll try and get 2 of those. So 1 there. Oh, I can't get 2 of them. Damn. That could look nice. Yeah, I'm just going to connect that road. Just going to do that. Again, purely for decoration, and then sort of do the same on this end. So that would go there, and connect to there. So that is purely for decorate. Actually, that's almost like a bypass around it, which I like. I almost kind of like the idea of that. This side's bigger than that side, though. So that would go like that. Yeah, that's not the right size. I kind of like the idea of that bypass around there. And maybe even connecting through. Yeah, why not? It's just gonna be a fancy area, is what it is. Just gonna connect the whole way through. Not like that. Connect to there. The roads on the outside can be grass. The roads on the inside can be good old... Or the roads on the outside can have trees. The roads on the inside can be grass. So like that. I do think I want that to be one way around there. That kind of makes sense to me. So there we go. So you don't need to turn... Hold on a minute. Left and then there and then right. I don't know if that's the correct way to have a one-way system going there, but I'm gonna do it because it's sort of interesting. I also had the game paused again. Really need to not do that. That's something I really need to not do. Let's get some trees along the Opera House. Let's get rid of some small trees and do some big trees, please. There we go. Then small tree. Good old big tree. Alright, small tree. No. No. You'll do. No. No. You'll do. Alright, so those are some nice decorations on either side of it. This area probably does need a bus to come to it, now that I think about it. Where is the nearest bus? You're not a bus line, that's a tram line. Oh, there isn't a bus line. Where are my bus lines? Do I have a bus line, right? Yeah, they're the red lines. I haven't been updating them. I feel slightly bad that I haven't been updating them, but I guess my bus lines do... Like, this metro service is serving the same purpose as a bus in the tourism area, so that seems kind of pointless. That said, I think I will sort of do a bus line that does a loop of that area. Sort of in this direction, and then comes into the Opera House. Then sort of goes back out and around, and just sort of loops around and does its thing, and doesn't really get into too much trouble. So there we go. That's going to be a bus line that loops around there, can take people about, and hopefully keep them nice and happy. Make it red, of course. And there we go. So that's a new bus line for that area. I will need to put more decorations around the Opera House, I think. I don't really want to just leave it bland. I can't really do parking lots because obviously I'm playing vanilla, but we'll see what we can do for decorations in a little bit. Let's just fill that in and fill that in as well. But I like that as a location for the Opera House. I really like it just being right on the coast, even if the coast has some fecal matter floating in the water. It might not be pleasant, but it's a coast, and it does what it does. I also want to go to terrain editing and smoothing and knock the strength of that up a little bit. And just smooth this out a bit. Unfortunately, it's not very good at it. But it's smoother than it was. I just want to smooth all of that out. Make it look a little bit nicer. There we go. Alright, well, people are using this, which is cool. I honestly think I'm going to set it as a district, though. So that people don't use it as a way through there. As a shortcut. Because it really isn't that. It is an opera house. So, we'll set it as a district. This district can sort of go back up to there. Then we just delete that from the road in that spot and that spot. And this can just be Linden District is going to be the Linden Opera House. And policies, Old Town, encourage biking, heavy traffic ban, high-rise ban. Sure. There we go. So that way, the only people going into this district will be people going to the Opera House. That is, of course, until I maybe decide to put some buildings in there. Which I'm tempted to do, I'll be honest. It's tempting to put some shops sort of along here. Which I think wouldn't be a terrible idea, I guess. Can sort of do something similar there. And, at least that way there's going to be, you know, some use to this district. Which I like the idea of. Also going to go ahead and just do this. Even if it doesn't match up nicely to the edges and all that, it'll still sort of do what it does. There we go. So that's going to loop around there, and then I can get some trees in, make it look pretty. So a tree there, and a tree there. Couple of trees by that space, and a nice big one in the corner. There we go. So there are actually people going through here still. I guess that one's a taxi. There are people walking through here as well. There's people actually at the Opera House. Yeah, a few tourists here and there. Let me have a quick look at our numbers. We need 55,000 to get the airport. That's something people have been telling me to build a lot. I don't have it yet. You need to remember this. I don't currently have the airport. We're still working towards it. Now, this area is actually filled up quite nicely, which is good to see. Traffic's also flowing really well. It's also less dense here, which is cool to see. The roundabout is very busy, which is unfortunate. But we can look into fixing this, that's for sure. This is, this looks like it could be a permanent problem. I can guarantee you this is a temporary problem that will absolutely go away. This is a public transport problem. And we'll figure it out. At the moment, there's not a lot we can do. And as for the rest of this, it's almost filled up, which is good. We still just have some waiting to do. How's this going? It has a few visitors, a few tourists. That's always cool to see. What other buildings do we have then? So we have things like, obviously, the Science Center, the Expo Center, large buildings all here and there. Modern art museums. The thing is, I don't really know where I'd put all of that. Because the city center is kind of here. And it's old style, you know, it's European. It's not really the new stuff. So I guess we probably want a dedicated space for things like the Expo Center, which could be here. I think that could be a nice space for a dedicated Expo Center. It would definitely be different. We also have this space out here as well to keep in mind. I do think I will, next episode, maybe get into expanding the suburbs. But again, at this point, we are just waiting for this to fill up. So let's wait a little bit longer and have a look at it once it's either full or close to being full. It has just hit me that something we're going to need is a new metro system over here. So I'm going to have Moore District and Umber Park actually share a metro line because I don't think the area is big enough to necessarily warrant two separate metro lines for each space. So we're going to have them share a metro line, which I think will be okay. I can't really imagine that being too much of an issue. So we'll do a metro line there. And then that can connect up to there. This one can go... It'd be nice to get it there, but I think that's a crematorium or something. Yeah, it's a crematorium. Can't really get one on that side, so this one's going to connect. I don't know where this one's going to connect. It kind of needs to not connect to this line, because that's not a line it's supposed to connect to at all. But we'll see what happens. Let's just connect these guys all together like so. Obviously using my tried and tested method of not having corners, which is a dangerous move, but it checks out. Let's see. I'm gonna do that, and I'm also gonna do this. Because, well, you'll see why. So if I go from here down to this station, to that station, then back. So we've created a nice loop there, but then we go from this station to that. Oh dear. Hold on a minute. That's not the way I wanted it to go. Interesting. So then we go from that station to that station. I really want it to loop is the thing. So maybe that station up there to this station. But it's going the same way, which is not what I want. So create a line going from there to there to there and back. Not necessarily the optimal... Is that the only... There's only one line? Hold on a minute. What is that line doing there? The one that goes that way. Oh, it turns back. Oh, that's not right. That is not right. Hold on a second. What is that metro line? That is going to be metro line 17? No. What the hell is that metro line? That one. What number are we looking? Oh, hold on. It's there. 19. Right. So delete metro line 19. We'll work out another way to do this. Because I do want it to loop, but it just does kind of make sense that the train would just go back on itself. Because it does need somewhere to connect to. So what if we start here, then we loop around like this. We'll skip that station and go... And that one's going to turn back on itself, so we're going to have to go to that station, unfortunately, which makes it even bloody busier. That's going the same way, though, so hold on a minute. Start there, go there, go there, go there. Then this way, and that way, and that way. There we go. That's going to have to do the job, but that will connect those areas together, which means that people will be able to get about even easier. We do have sort of the ability for, I guess these guys over here can sort of... Yeah, they did stop there, didn't they? I think we used... No, I don't know if we did actually use this station at all. I know I've literally just done it, but I don't remember if we used this station. Either way, it'll be easy enough for those people to get themselves to the blue line. Honestly, the blue line's probably going to need to change. Now that I look at it, the blue line really should start down here. Which is a problem because... I mean, that's kind of supposed to be the central... I guess it doesn't have to. I guess it's probably alright. It is tempting to maybe go ahead and add an extra red line stop, though. Just there. Because having a stop out by the Opera House just seems like a nice thing to do. So we're going to put that stop there. Then we're going to add a stop there and there. So the Opera House is now where the red line extends to. Which I think I like the idea of. I do. We can also do some decorations around this. Obviously the train is a little bit messed up because of the nature of the subway under there. We can slightly fix it. Just ever so slight terrain alterations there. We'll make it work. It's alright. Let's get ourselves a pathway through there, I suppose. And I'm also going to do a tree. And a couple more trees here and there too. So there we go. Hopefully that will be a nice way to mask the atrocities going on there. Obviously this bit's going to have to stay, but we'll deal with that eventually. There are actually a few people going to this station, which is cool to see. I didn't expect this thing to get any use, but it is getting some. As for Rushport, it is very slowly filling up, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there for today. What I'll do is wait between this episode and next for that area to fill up completely so that we can go ahead and continue with the development of the city. Before we wrap things up, I would like to just make one small adjustment by adding some trees into here, because this area definitely needs them. Just a few trees dotted about to make this area look a little bit less barren. We'll get some of these trees in as well. Get some of these darker trees as well, so it just looks kind of lush. That's a word, right? That's a word people use. Let's get some hedges too. Just spam click those like crazy. And I think that immediately just looks a bit nicer. There is still a lot of empty space in there, but we'll deal with it as time goes by. Because for today, ladies and gents, that is going to be it. So thank you kind of for watching. This has been City Skylines, the Vanilla Let's Play part something. What is it? I'm looking at my schedule. Part 15 of the Vanilla Let's Play. Thank you kind of for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. That way, YouTube will think I'm popular, and they'll show the video to even more people.